Hakeem Olajuwon spoke with, or actually wrote an article for the Players Tribune, in which the great, legendary Hall of Fame center who led the Rockets to 2 championships had some interesting things to say in regards to how the big man is, in his opinion, changing or has to evolve. And when Rick and I discovered this piece, our initial reaction was,
it
was more like it's already happened.
Yeah,
You're saying this a couple years too late.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the dream. Here's a picture that Hakeem says started the change of big men in general. He said, Shaq, if he got you on the low post in general, I'll read the quote in a second, like you're done. Not a chance. Yeah, not a chance. Nobody with that kind of skill and size. But his point of showing that picture was, look how far out Hakeem had the ball. Behind the 3-point line. Rare for even in the mid-2000s, even rare for the mid-90s.
Remember Shaq's shoes?
Remember Shaq in a
Magic
jersey?
We had them in the studio firsthand when he did the Monster interview, and we passed them around with everyone in here. Just, Edwin, you remember that? Were you here when Shaq's shoes were getting passed around? I could have napped in them.
You remember the little old lady who lived in the shoe?
Yeah, she's still in there.
She's still in there.
She never left Shaq's shoe.
The little old lady who lived in the shoe.
And as a person himself, yeah, humongous. His forearms are the size of my full body. Gigantic, man.
Gigantic.
And I would look at him and I'd stare at him and be like, someone gave birth to you. Like, you're a human being.
What are you falling under, the Whitlock line of like, he's like, you were born 6'8". You were born 6'8". He goes, anatomically, you can't be born 6'8", but that's fine.
But it's just that when you look at someone and you look at yourself, you're like
7 pounds, 13 ounces at birth.
Oh my, we came from the same place, like same.
The Stark?
As far as like DNA goes, we came from the same place. The Stark.
Ever see the Family Guy line where the Stark flies in? And he goes, where's the baby? And he goes, honey, you and I are gonna make this.
Yeah, huge human being.
Let's skip to quote number, let's go skip to number 9, element number 9. That's the quote about small ball that we were kind of referring to before. Small ball won't eliminate big men, but it might eliminate our old ideas of positions. Everyone likes to compare eras, but it's possible that today's big men are more skilled as all-around players than ever before. To Francis's credit, look at guys like Draymond Green and LaMarcus Aldridge in this year's playoffs. I'm in awe of how they play like guards and centers at the same time. But he's also missing a few guys that should be obviously named. Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins.
Karl Anthony Towns as well.
Karl Anthony Towns, Porzingis, all these is what they call, we've kind of labeled them as unicorns.
Yeah.
Because they used to be such a rarity, right? For a long time, especially foreign players, guys coming overseas, for so long it was, we got to find the next Dirk. And then people stopped looking for the next Dirk and they started to look for, okay, we need to find the next just all around rare talent.
Right.
Because that's what Dirk was. He's the 6th greatest scorer in NBA history, which is still somehow undersold.
So let's just try to simplify this as much as possible. His main quote was, small ball won't eliminate the big men. It kind of already has. If he didn't watch the NBA Finals,
Jahlil Okafor.
Tristan Thompson did not play that much.
Jahlil Okafor will not find a solid job in the NBA because of his skill set.
And it's a shame because I appreciate low post scoring. The fact is, we are now in the era of how many points can you put up, how many threes can you chuck, and how many can you make. That is the flat out facts of where we are in the NBA, and especially with this skill set of players. So, and we talked about this a little bit. If the Cavs were to trade for DeMarcus Cousins, it would have a cause and effect of, oh shit, we got to get skilled big mans the ball as much as possible, because they would outmatch the Golden State Warriors from a 2-point shooting back to the basket perspective.
Slow the clock down, 24-second possessions.
Yes, completely. And I think that
beat you down.
I think we would have a shift. However, it's not going to happen because they still want to play to the Warriors' strengths, which is obviously stupid, which is line up as many good defenders as you can and get as many 3-point shooters as you can. So him saying that the big guys won't be eliminated in the small ball era. Dude, watch the finals of the last few years.
It already happened.
It's already happened.
And it would help your favorite meme. That J.R. Smith would be like, yo, LeBron, why is Tristan Thompson like 7 inches taller? Dude, that's DeMarcus Cousins.
Because I think that we use the term in football, it's called luxury players. And luxury players will just like, you could have like a Juan Sebastian Veron, you know him, Rick, where he could play in the team, and what that means is just a specific skill set that is so specific, to use the word, in that system that you work with. So I feel like in basketball now, it's harder to have luxury players because everyone is being asked to do more than what their skill set is. That's why when you have someone like you cannot rely on specific luxury players to help you if you come up against a Giannis Antetokounmpo, because the man is humongous, but he's playing at the point. It's almost like the way basketball is moving is you have to be versatile to be able to move between 1, 2, and 3. And if you're playing if you're a big man, you have to be able to have the handles of someone that you potentially could be playing outside. Tracy and Strom, I'm distracted by your hypothetical. You could be the same handles as someone who's dribbling as a power forward. It's an exciting time because everyone's surpassing the expectations of what you would used to watch. I mean, the reason I loved basketball was watching the Shaq era when he played. When he came into the Heat, that was when I really started watching it. And I used to love watching how you could dominate people just simply by grabbing the ball in the paint and just backing them down. But you can't sit here and say that it's not exciting to watch guys like Karl Anthony Towns, who are humongous but can drill threes and have the handles like Steph Curry almost. I'm a little far-fetched. But it's the way that you're right. It's the way that basketball's adapting that I think it's more so not just that these players need to adapt, but overall you cannot rely on one thing to be a luxury. LeBron James's physicality is fantastic, but so is his basketball IQ and his passing and his defensive ability.
Real quick, here's how I view the current NBA centers and how they've sort of evolved. In the NHL, there used to be enforcers. Now in the NHL, there aren't necessarily any enforcers. The enforcers have had to adopt a skill set that they didn't have already, which is skating with the puck, passing and shooting. It's not just about fighting.
Not hockey, but Zdeno Chara used to be that and had to adapt, if I am correct.
Yes,
because he's such a massive human being.
Well, he also had like a mean slapper when he was with the Islanders.
Okay.
So it wasn't necessarily that he had to, yeah, a little bit.
He just comes to mind as like the scariest guy on the ice because with skates he's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah. What's the point you were going to make with this drawn-out basketball court?
Basketball, I know, I'm supposed to use a permanent marker, so I just made the margins a little bit thicker here, Ja'Cory. I don't have a marker on me, but I can get one if you want.
Go ahead.
The whole point of this is basketball used to tilt it down.
Yeah, there you go.
Basketball used to take place between 1 and 3. Those are the only two quadrants that mattered from basically its inception to 1999.
Right.
Then the league got smaller, and the most important thing about 2017 basketball is what happens here. That's where transition plays break away. That's where the three-point line. I should include more of the three-point line, but the most efficient three-point shots are being taken off those corners. Not the corners of where I drew my lines.
I understand.
That's the most important part of the basketball floor, the floor and your game plan. And to use the same point I've used about 14 times in this show alone, it's where the Warriors set their screens to get their shooters open. It's also where, for example, when you want to play isolation ball like the Cavs did 2 years ago, most notably because they were the best isolation offense, it's where they were eventually leading to set up Kyrie Irving to make that drive to the hole. But all of the movement was taking place right on that line. Whereas everywhere you looked in, the Ewing, Shaq, who am I missing? Hakeem, who am I missing? Charles Barkley, David Robinson, a really good example of a supremely athletic big man who, even as Hakeem pointed out in his Players Tribune article, is like the thing that made David Robinson stand out is he was a leaper, man. Like that guy can get up. And it made him so hard to deal with because if he wanted to, he would just jump over you, which was weird for a guy who stood 7 feet tall. Navy, right?
Very good.
That's where basketball in the 90s, 80s, 70s, it really took place in those quadrants. Even the mid-range shooting did. And even Michael Jordan was dominant inside that line opposed to outside.
So we're in agreement with this. It's
100%.
It's not that the big men are dying, it's that they have to be that much more skilled in other areas just than rebounding and low post scoring. Like most of them got to be able to shoot from the elbows. Many more have to shoot the three. It doesn't just come down to being a big oaf and playing defense.
Yeah, I missed the big oaf. Charles Oakley enforcer days.
I was thinking about that too.
Man, do I miss
My mind went immediately to that. Who's going to win, Oakley or James Dolan?
I hope for the city of New York and what Oakley meant for the city of New York that they somehow side with Charles Oakley. Although,
I agree.
As much as the fan, I mean, it's my Twitter header photo is Oakley fighting everybody on the Heat. For like a year, it's been that. However, to be objective and fair in the situation, it wasn't like Oakley kept his cool and possibly didn't keep his end of the agreement that was made previously with Dolan. And we know how Oakley is. Oakley is as old school as it gets. So what should happen? Dolan should be forced to apologize because he's a giant pussy. Oakley meant so much to the Knicks organization and how much. It wasn't just the enforcing and the fighting. The Knicks won similarly to how other New York sports teams have become very successful in the past and the future with defense. The Giants' any Super Bowl they've won has been because of a great defense. The only reason the Knicks were in the playoffs time and time again was because of Oakley. I'm missing a couple of guys in here, but obviously Patrick Ewing and John Starks and guys who were forcing you to play physical hand check defense, and they were beating people up.
Here's what I want to happen. Oakley wins, and in the process, the jury finds a way to just shit on him, like the jury selection in the Martin Shkreli case. Oh, yeah. And they say, you need to sell the team to Mallory Edens.
Who's that?
The Bucks owner's daughter.
Oh,
who wants
fact.
To buy
yeah, but I heard. But I think I want Beyonce.
Beyonce?
Beyonce.
She's going to Houston.
They already sold the team, I thought.
She didn't have partial ownership in Houston?
No, they didn't side with her.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, there's a lot of people I wish would own the Knicks. Oakley, maybe not would be. I mean, in today's NBA.
Anybody. Anybody.
Yeah, I've said this a million times. The best thing, and I didn't get it. I can't even take it. It came from Frank Isola. The best thing that ever happened to James Dolan was that he was born into his family.
Same with Donald Trump.
Fact.
Very good point.
Fact.
Yep.
Same with Edwin Uman.
Encarnacion.
Edwin Encarnacion. How about them?
Are we done?
How about them Raiders?
Right. All right, real quick. Picks for Canelo, GGG. What do you got?
We've talked Canelo. Decision.
I want to hear Francis.
I'm gonna go with Gennady Golovkin in decision.
I will fight anybody.
I think that regardless, I think it's going to go to distance. And I don't know if I've been like McGregor and Mayweather's a little throwing that into the works is like, yeah, that's obviously anyone's going to be excited.
We're so
to watch.
far past.
It's going to be
such a different boxing.
But I'm saying that made me excited to watch that fight. But I was looking forward to this fight from the entirety since it has been announced because you have two boxers that are going to stand toe to toe to each other that both throw ridiculously powerful punches and have fearlessness. Something that I think makes any boxing match the most exciting thing you'll see on TV in comparison to even my beautiful, beloved world football. I grew up watching UK boxing and loving those fearless nights of
So what was your
Ricky Hatton standing toe to toe with fellow fighters. So I love the nostalgia that boxing can bring out. I don't think it happens enough. But when Anthony Joshua goes toe to toe with Vladimir Klitschko, I love that. It was one of my favorite.
Did you watch Carl Froch when you were growing up?
Yeah, I like Carl Froch.
Remember Froch versus Groves as a hell of a knockout.
Yeah, because the rivalries there as well. Like they were very much
the second
engraved in truth, which I think is rare as well. Like I think Mayweather and McGregor didn't like each other, but it was more so for the ego. Whereas like Froch and Groves did not like each other.
Froch or Froch? I always
Froch.
hear both.
Carl Froch.
I say Froch or Froch.
Is the English pronunciation?
Whatever. I'm Scottish. I can get away with it. All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
And then I used to love watching Calzaghe. I used to love watching Prince.
Calzaghe was good.
Azim.
Prince Azim. You mentioned Prince Azim a couple times.
Well, because he used to be he was like the Conor McGregor of boxing before Conor McGregor even became the Conor McGregor of Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, he was just so he would just flaunt everything. He was just so extravagant. But to get back to that, I think that it'll be Gennady Golovkin. I don't really have any true substance as to
You want to bet
why.
on the fight?
What are we going for? Is it lunch again?
Sure.
I mean, we've got a few days next week to arrange lunch. I think it'll be Golovkin decision.
I'm in the hole on the Royals. Fucking
Loser buys the other Chipotle.
All right.
No.
I didn't spit. It was a joke. I didn't spit. It was a joke. It's wet. It's wet.
What does he say?
You held on way too long there. That was
the
awkward.
hangover at the end of his speech. Get in for blood. Alan, Jesus. I was a one-man wolf. Alan, my God. Comment below.